have to talk about the new Super Mario Galaxy movie trailer, because one thing that is seriously blowing everybody's minds right now is Bowser Jr. He shows up fully ready to save Bowser, and no one explains how. How did he get there in the first place? Did he come from a painting? Was it some sort of experiment? Well, that's exactly what we're going to be breaking down here today, guys. We're going to be going into all the theories, digging deep into the games, and figuring out how Bowser Jr. fits into the story of this Mario movie. And by the end of the video, you'll know exactly why he's there, and you might even see the bigger picture of what the Mario Cinematic Universe is building towards. And trust me, it's not as simple as you think. So without further ado, guys, let's get right into Bowser Jr. First off, we have the idea that Bowser literally painted him and he came out of a painting. Sounds wild, but let's consider it. In the trailer, Bowser Jr. shows up with a giant paintbrush that sprays magical ink. It transforms him right in front of our eyes and we see his great transformation. Mario games are full of this kind of magic. In Super Mario 64, for example, paintings aren't just decoration, they're portals to entire worlds. You can jump in, explore, and even things you paint can appear in the game itself. So the theory goes like this: maybe Bowser Jr. was created from a painting. But here's the catch: if Bowser could just paint things to life, wouldn't he have already painted a giant mushroom to get big again? Or painted Peach's castle away? And in the trailer, there's no magical ink involved. Bowser Jr.'s brush doesn't actually have powers, it's just a tool. So as cool as the idea is, painting him into existence doesn't really hold up and make much sense. Another theory people throw around is the super simple one: he just appeared because movie logic, right? But see, that really doesn't fit Mario's universe. Even in the first Super Mario film, every event had a reason behind it, and Illumination is working closely with Nintendo, which means they're keeping these movies connected to the official canon of the game. So no, Bowser Jr. didn't just pop into existence for the sake of a plot beat. There has to be a story behind him, and we can actually piece it together if we look at the games and the previous movies. Now, this is where it gets interesting. The Bowser Jr. that we actually see in the trailer is already a bit advanced compared to canon, which means he has history behind him, and his origins, well, they're a little mysterious. Nintendo hasn't fully explained where he came from, but there are three main theories that may explain where he came from. The first one is dark magic creation. Maybe Bowser Jr. was created with dark magic, possibly with Kamek's help. The idea links to the Koopalings, who were first thought to be Bowser's children, but later reconnected to just being his minions. Fans speculated that magic or Bowser's tech could have made them, but interestingly enough, Nintendo has already confirmed that Bowser Jr. is Bowser's one and only biological son. That doesn't mean that Bowser got pregnant, of course, but think of it more like a DNA experiment. So while dark magic is fun to imagine as a possible theory of how Bowser Jr. was created, it's possibly not the full story. It doesn't match. The second theory, which makes a little bit more sense, is the superstar wish. Another idea is that Bowser used the superstar to make a wish for a child. Maybe Bowser Jr. was forming while all of the events of the first movie were happening and unfolding. This would explain why he was in the first film. He just wasn't born yet, so to speak. But of course, again, it doesn't mean that he was literally born out of the womb of Bowser. It wouldn't make sense, of course. It's his biological son, but in a creation sense, like he created him, not that he came out of him. And the third theory is a self-reproduction theory, and this one is a bit wild, okay? Like Koopa or Yoshi, maybe Bowser too can reproduce on his own, laying an egg and hatching Bowser Jr. personally. I mean, that's biologically questionable, because in that sense, we would have to get into how the characters of this world of Super Mario reproduce, every single one of them. And of course, being a children's game, the creators never got into these questions in the first place, because it didn't make any sense to get into them. And like I said before, in any case, we would have to go back to every single Mario character and see how they reproduce and their nuances. And believe it or not, there isn't that much information about every single character's reproductive capabilities, in all honesty. So that remains a gray area. Ideally, we would want to see a more canonical explanation to this. But there is also another fan theory, which out of all the theories that we've discussed, this one makes a lot of sense as well. And it's that Bowser had a wife who died giving birth to Bowser Jr., and he and Kamek raised him together. Again, nothing official confirms this, so it's pure speculation and nothing canon. Now, let's shift a little bit from origins to purpose. Bowser Jr. isn't just there for family photos. Officially, he's Bowser's second in command, and that means that when Bowser is busy or away, Bowser Jr. leads the way, carries out the missions, and executes the plans. We've actually seen this a lot across the games. He takes Princess Peach, plots against Mario, and sometimes works completely independently independent from Bowser himself. Just like any son, being Bowser's son doesn't mean he's glued to his dad 24/7. He's his own person, and he shares his dad's side when he comes to villain activities, but it doesn't mean that everything he does is under Bowser's command. Sometimes he acts completely independently. He has his own life and own objectives in the games, but he's still a core member of Team Bowser, to the point where many times in the games it doesn't seem like Bowser Jr. is his son. Bowser just uses him with no regard about him whatsoever or what's gonna happen to him. He just uses him whenever it fits him the most. So that's really important to understand because we kinda see that same vibe here in the trailer. And now the big question, how does Bowser Jr.'s history tie into the Mario Galaxy movie? Well, Bowser Jr. first appeared in the Super Mario Sunshine game years before the first Super Mario Galaxy game, and that makes you wonder, how can he show up in the movie if this is the case? Well, the canonical timeline actually works, it's just a little shuffled here. Super Mario Sunshine exists in this movie universe. We've already seen hints actually. The travel agency to Isle Delfino is one of them, Hotel Delfino's Roulette and Casino, and of course the paintbrush. In the trailer, Bowser Jr. is carrying that brush which Dr. Egad supposedly gave him. But here's the twist, the brush doesn't show Egad's logo. That's probably because Bowser Jr., being a clever little trickster, swapped it himself. Maybe he stole it, or maybe he threatened the doctor. Either way, it fits with his personality, and plus, it makes sense that Bowser Jr. would love this. His dad is obsessed with painting, and Bowser Jr. clearly enjoys graffiti. This brush is part of his character, not just a random prop. Everything is linked to the games, but at the same time, we still don't have that much information to understand why Bowser Jr. is here. In this universe, Bowser Jr. has likely been running his own side missions even before Mario enters the picture. Maybe he was already plotting chaos, maybe he was out trying to capture Rosalina, or perhaps he was on a mission like the Bowser Jr. journey in Bowser's Inside Story. This explains why, in the trailer, he knows exactly what's happening when Bowser gets captured. He is fully prepared. He calls his army to the Mushroom Kingdom, and Rosalina notices and steps in to help Peach. It all lines up when you think of Bowser Jr. not as a random cameo, but as a fully developed character with his own plans way before Mario came in. This reinforces the theory that we talked about before, where it says that Bowser Jr. was already plotting the chaos while the first movie was going on and all the events were happening. So Bowser Jr. is not a prop-up out of nowhere. He's been here for a while. So there you have it, guys. Bowser Jr. didn't just appear out of nowhere. He has history, missions, and a role in Bowser's plans. The paintbrush, not magic at all. It's part of his clever, mischievous personality. And the theories, we've got dark magic, a superstar wish, and even self-reproduction theories that might have explained it, but not to the fullest. But the reality is different. It's probably a mix of canon and clever storytelling that we're going to be able to watch and witness on the big screen when the movie comes out in April. And now the big question, does this mean we're getting a Mario Sunshine movie next? Well, maybe. Believe it or not, we'll have to save that speculation for another time, and maybe when the movie comes out and see more details, and it could be a very well-grounded possibility. So what about you guys? Did you know all of this about Bowser Jr., or did you actually wonder who is this guy and where did he come from when you watched the trailer for the first time? Because I think that was the thought of many people who watched the trailer. The truth is, we're all excited to watch it.